Montreal-born, Edmonton-based poet Kathy Fisher has been performing her words for international audiences for over 3 decades. Her passion is marrying sonic elements in poetry with improvisational music or found sound, be they recordings of Northern Lights, tracks from her oral history sound library, or areas from rediscovered opera divas. Her video poem, Wabi Sabi, was selected to screen this December at the 2021 Film and Video Poetry Symposium in Pasadena, California. Now, you might have heard the word in her bio, passion. I'll tell you, everything that Kathy does, she has to have a lot of passion. It's amazing. She's worked as a storyteller, a researcher, and oral historian, recording audio and video interviews with female elders and top lawyers, judges, and law librarians. She's a host in the local literary and spoken word scene. Kathy regularly produces multidisciplinary evenings of words and music, often with visual art components. Now, when you hear her tonight, if she sounds a bit familiar to you, it might be because her first poetry CD was aired on CKUA, CBC, and CJSR radio stations. Or maybe you saw her poetry installation in 2013 at the Edmonton Art Gallery. Kathy has appeared on stages across North America, in Mexico and France, in bars, theaters, and festivals. And I am guessing if we had 2 or 3 more hours, she has a lot of stories to tell us about performing in bars. Anyway, she emphasizes that she is a keen collaborator. She regularly performs spoken word and song with a roster of musicians, often as a part of lyric fusion, duos or trios. Recent projects include collaborative video poems or poetry videos and portrait/poetry collaborations. Current projects include refining her poetry manuscript, Below the Belt, and developing her video poem on the Spanish flu. It's called Traveler. And so here's Kathy, our poet and musician for the evening.
Unmute. Thank you very much, Steph. I just want to, Lois, I want to thank you for that lovely introduction. And I really want to thank Steph for a little front end help. And I want to thank Lisa as well, because I had some wonderful interaction. And I was initially invited to do, music and poetry. And so I did speak to a musician friend. She can't join me. So, I thought when I was finding my bios, I thought I'll use this found sound. And one of the things that I wanted to do was be able to build a set that I could have more without using a looping pedal, basically. So I am going to kick it off with, I used to perform a lot with this group called the Raving Poets Band. And this is I made a CD. And so I'm going to sing over this piece that I did called Night Shelter. So I've got to move around a bit. Moving around, I got a CD and anyway, so welcome. Let us go then, you and I, turquoise against a blackening sky which spits my sorrows in loud stutters. leaves us Dalmatian bruised. Let us go then, seek shelter in the storm, in the black, the bleak nightscape, a half-eaten moon, shot up by pin-prick stars. For I have no nights like these alone. They taste different when I dine with you. I scent shared, I sing blindness, seeing. So that was with, and Randy Edwards was amazing on the guitar on that one. So I kind of have, I'm going to take a little journey. I'm taking a little journey through the set. And then the next piece is about Northern Lights. It was a commission with Jim Davies. He's a visual artist, and he did some incredible paintings about the Northern Lights. So this was about 12 visual artists. And so I did a poem, and I wanted it to visually look like the Northern Lights. And then when I was in the hospital, there was this incredible First Nations woman named Margaret, and she told me that, she goes, Kathy, I was up, and her husband's name was Squirrel, and he clicked his fingernails and he pulled the Northern Lights right out of the sky. So anyway, I researched for audio tapes, and that's what I'm going to play in the background. So at the installation, I had a poem that kind of looked like really big, but it was shaped so you can kind of see a little bit. I don't know because of the shapes of, but it was like a concrete poem, and then the track looped, so you could, and then I had it looped with the poem as well. So this is background is from this fellow in California who comes up, and he gave me permission to use his audio. So Greavy. Sings the Body. Epigram by Walt Whitman. I sing the body electric, the army of those I love endures me, and I endure them. They will not let me off till I go with them, respond to them. Siberian sky sings, the body electric entices, cardinal point, polar pole. Magnetic north slithers east from Scandinavia, 40 miles every 4 seasons. Call Aurora Borealis, with throat singing, atoms zinging, fingernails clicking, shaman chanting lights into dancing giants. The Manaba walk down, down. Giant fox with giant fox tails, snakes through snow-clad hills. Spirits of great hunters, fishers, seal and salmon, beluga, deer. Down, down. Elf rides, dancing, elders, the walking dead. Midnight sun sighting, Lapland, Greenland, Yukon, Nunavut, Ellesmere Isle, Alaska, white horse, yellow knife, night cuts, candy ribbon curtains, rippling, pale green and baby pink neon in shooting rays, undulating, encircling, sky, skull, cap, rare, corona. The goddess of dawn sets up her spectacle, soul et lumière, winter night after winter night, violet, red, indigo, blue and yellow streaks tumble and turn, witness, itinerant rogue, limelight, hover over Italy's boot, fluorescent pasta, primavera. Come, see, light dancers shiver, mine inner rhyme and outer limits. New Orleans jazz riffs, bebop licks the Basin Street blues. Japanese tourists trail Aurora from Kyoto and Nagasaki, keen to conceive to the sound track of crackle, flicker, swish, crackle, flicker, swish, call and respond between magnetic poles, atmospheric. DLF, techno receiver renders electric magnetic signals, radio emissions, starlight transmissions, strange static symphony, the call of ET. Listen, your eyes are a stereo, brain stands for sky song, tracks electric impulses, leakages carry aurora images to cerebral cortex, sound spills from optic nerves to brain synthesizers, swings to flicker, crackle, swish. Here, timber wolves and wolverine sunspots, a crackle, pop, solar wind departed. There we go with that one. That was cool. That was a different track than the one I usually use, but the sounds are absolutely amazing. And in fact, the story of when I Googled and looked up the fingernails cracking, I found this story about a Western scientist who went out with the Indigenous community in British Columbia, one of the communities, and they told him this story, and they did that for him. And it was none other than David Suzuki. And that's what actually, when he started out really connecting with, like, that was part of his sort of journey or the beginnings with First Peoples, which we know about. Okay, so next next up, I'm going to take you to kind of as I'm going to go into unnature. I was a group of artists and I were invited to collaborate and do poems from Fort Saskatchewan. And so this is, and I always sort of like, the call had to go, it was to celebrate the turnaround at the refinery. And David Bridges was an amazing resource. Anyway, I thought, what can a writer do that a visual artist can't do? And I thought, oh, we can be the voice of something. So I am the voice of the refinery. It's called Shell Queen. And it's in the lunchroom out at the refinery. I glitter, glamour, mesmerize with grumbles, hisses, bat my eyes, burst my flare with intermittent flame. I burn and turn, seek out my fame. I yearn all day for sky of night to strut my stuff to show my might, then blot out planets with orange shine, kill starlight sparkle, savor darkness like fine wine. In black, bejeweled, you'll sense my dream of ruling, reigning, lording space. I make you tiptoe in this place, still come to me in supplication, hard hat, earplugs, steel-toed boots, safety glasses, one-piece suits, fire retardant, iridescent X, name tags dangling on your chest. Sign in, sign out, please dance my dance. I'll keep you nimble, keep you humble. We're all gamblers marking chance. You plot and plan years in advance like general soldiers' rows and lines. Still I weave my own way, serpentine. I keep you close, dispense odd signs, your nose alert to scent of danger. Consider me, be not a stranger to my burps and belches, farts and yawns. Day shift past dusk, night shift past dawn. See me stand tall and show your ass. Backstage secret access permits, safety edicts. Watch your ass. This is my cosmos, oil, gas. I am a shellless scallop, skin drag, queen in daylight, seldom seen. I am a lady all the night. In truth, I'm an hermaphrodite. Let's sing together, bound together, as I spawn what men will die for. And then Thank you. And then I'm going to take you to, because we're in winter. This is a piece that it has a little bit of singing in it, and that's why I'm singing this, because I'm going to take you towards family. Promise. Sing praises to snow, to flowers, to the buried promise of perennials. Cover your garden with ice, crystal, snow, shoveled off your stairs. Insulate your plants with cold, protect them from a deeper freezing. Blanket your lavender and rosemary and thyme, oregano and coriander, let them teeter, topple over, fall asleep. Dream the dreams of plants, of herbs, of summer here under a sweater of snow. Mon pays, ce n'est pas un pays, c'est l'hiver. Mon jardin, ce n'est pas un jardin, c'est la plaine. Mon chemin, ce n'est pas un chemin, c'est la neige. Mon pays, ce n'est pas un pays, c'est l'hiver. Let that be enough for now. These days are made for white nights of northern lights, the spellbinding brightness of snow lit by a winter moon bathed in blue. Cross-country ski at night, sing your star song, the crackle and crunch of skis, swishing, scraping, the steady staccato of poles piercing an icy crust. Your trail, a sapphire wake. Embrace the orange heat of homecoming, the clothes peeling invitation of an open hearth. Drink your childhood, a mug, hot cocoa. We are winter people, cleansed by cold, purified by polar fronts, night brightness. We shovel and slide and glide until our limbs are almost numb. In winter, we are all white-thumbed. Let's tingle together, be pins and needles, feel our blood surge as the mercury sinks. Inhale the kind of clean that only strikes sub-zero when nostrils pinched together stick. We are oregano, summer savory, and sage in our own mysterious hibernation. Surrender to winter, to starlight and snow dust, to the blue moon, the warm room. The time will come for flowers. Okay, thank you. And that's kind of like it's close to a Christmas cheerful poem. I can't. So I'm going to take you next to, because that was come from Quebec, as you may have intuited, and as I was introduced. And I'm going to, there was a very famous opera singer, an opera diva named Emma Albani. And she was the Celine Dion of the 1800s. She was Queen Victoria's favorite. And anyway, I have a connection with her. She was from a little place called Chambly. And anyway, I found a recording of her voice. I will play it. I've got to set it up, and then I'll take you into the poem. All will be revealed. Forget stand. I've got to go to 22. Hit number 22 here. So there's a lot. Okay, come on. Okay, that's slow. Anyway, it's coming. The voice is maple sugar and honey, a hummingbird's heart beating at an impossible rate. It is butterscotch soft sauce, homemade, warm and taffy-like, soft as it congeals calls from the floor from 1904. The voice pushes out of the earth, grave, slips through invisible cracks, a tongue and groove oak casket, and hovers up there like a hummingbird. The song is exotic, almost Asian. It could be Anna singing at the knees of the king of Siam. It could be a Tuvan throat singer, vocal cords split unnaturally, twinned notes, like a bow drawn over two violin strings, its notes spectacularly ethereal. It could be Nattergallen, a nightingale, trilling from the pen of Hans Christian Andersen, his buried longing for Swedish soprano song. Opera singer Jenny Lind, but it is none of those things. It is the sound of Quebec-born soprano, the darling of Queen Victoria, a petite, dark-eyed woman as famous in 1886 as Celine Dion is now. She performed as Emma Albani, her real name, La Jeunesse, deemed too unspectacular to seduce La Scala patrons. Albani was born in Chambly, Quebec, a small city 15 miles east of Montreal. She lived on Rue Martel in a centuries-old habitant house with undersized doors and windows. I was conceived in that house. Chambly has been in my dreams for as long as I remember them. The gray stone fort perched on the water's edge, the flat countryside. Yet I never lived there. I grew up in Montreal, where my parents moved before I drew breath at the Montreal General Hospital. I'd come crashing into the world with arias and high seas cemented in my bones. And yet I can't remember when I began to hear soft singing. I only know that there was always a lullaby in my nursery. Emma Albani sang for Kaisers and kings, visiting dignitaries and presidents for Queen Victoria's funeral. And they say that on still nights in Chambly, on crisp fall evenings, ones that hint at northern lights, if you descend the gray stone stairs down to the Richelieu Basin, you can hear the sweetest sound. You strain as you listen, sound hovering in the dark air like an invisible winged hummingbird. Some say, is it an escaped nightingale? Some swear it is Tuvan music streamed in from Montreal, radio waves emanating from the big transformer which pierces the night sky. But ask anyone who was born in Chambly before the last war, and they will draw you aside and whisper softly, almost conspiratorially, it is none other than their beloved Emma Albani singing her way home. Thank you. It was so cool finding that. And the thing, yeah, so, and that house has been raised. There's a little monument there. All that is left. But actually I've got, we have home films of that incredible little house. And there was such a small door to the basement that my father, who's only 5'6", he used to have to wear a football helmet because when he went to get wood from the basement, he was always hitting his head. So he left the helmet at the top of the stairs so that he wouldn't get banged. Because Quebecois were often very, like they were small people, little doors. Okay. So Christmas is often about family. For a lot of people, it's about family. And for me, I think I was away a lot. And one thing that would happen at Christmas time was I'd end up going to the dentist or the doctor or something. You know, you cluster all your medical appointments. So this is I was thinking about, oh, family. So this is a little bit about genes, and it's called enteric blessing. So there's a trigger warning if people don't like medical details, I guess. 1, my mother never had one. I've had 3, well, really 2.5 over a decade, though more were recommended. My father had several. He never minded. My sisters had 1. My aunt told me I better go. We have the gene, she warns. 2. It's hard to bless the snake-eyed science and the man in the white coat who winds his fiber optics through your asshole, turns your insides out on TV screens. Are they black and white or color? This eye has no teeth. A mouth can connect with strange tissue, bite a chunk off. It's hard to bless the long tube lurking in your dark spaces, poking through your most private places, the one which might avert danger, catch it just in time, maybe even save your colon, your rectum, your life. You have to bless this asshole, your imperfect asshole, the one that allows access to your guts, your deep center, secrets swallowed, your past embedded in your tubular tangle fold of bowels. 3. It's an enteric blessing, the kind that won't dissolve in your mouth, the one whose gel shell stays solid, intact, holds all its magic until it transmits your acid ocean stomach, finds its way to your baby skin soft intestines. Then, only then, will it let its insides out. 4. The first time it felt a curse, an invasion, threw your bleeding body into a frozen retreat. The second time, the man in the white coat wanted to cut your insides out. Only 6 inches of healthy colon. 6 inches was all he wanted to leave you with. So you left instead, exposed, raw and red. His nurse's curse hurled hard, crow at your back, caw, caw, don't come crawling back here when you get cancer. 5. 10 years later, you walk back on your own 2 legs, prepare to submit, scared, shitless. And this time, this third time, that snake eye spots scarring and small ulcerations. And you don't remember a thing, good sedation, but the bruises on your hand mark missed needles. You go to sleep, come back crying. And this time, this third time, after you tell the Portuguese nurse, the friend who took you to the last one is dead, cancer. Your dad is dead, cancer. Your dog is dead, cancer. As is your stepmother, godmother, dead, dead, cancer, cancer. This time, the white coat says, no cancer, no polyps. So you bless the scars and ulcerations. You bless your beautiful scars. And actually, Tom Wilson has this incredible book called Beautiful Scars. I should send him the poem. And he discovered he's an amazing musician. He thought he was from an Irish war veteran. And it turned out his mom is Mohawk from Montreal, and it turned out his dad is Mohawk. But he wrote this unbelievably beautiful poetic memoir. He discovered his genes and his origins like about 5 years ago. I recommend that book. So, okay, so then I'm gonna page, okay, so I'm gonna do, I think I'll just do 2 more poems. So now I'm gonna, the theme, they said, oh, Kathy, would you mind doing a few Christmas poems? And I'm like, well, I don't know that I have really Christmas poems, but I'm gonna take you to Egypt for a very different trip. And then I'll take you out on this, just a sweet little upbeat piece at the end. That's a bit like a lullaby. Okay, so this is called, and again, I picked this one because I had a little bit of singing in it. So I start off with a few lines from Eliza Gilkinson. It's called The Price You Pay. Did you ever think that it would be like this? Ah, the price you pay for love, the price you pay for everything. 1. Joe Carter says, Negro spirituals are songs of sorrow. What did you know of sorrow, you of the perfect house, home, 3-car garage, your blue-eyed father, green-eyed mother, your dog, a border collie beagle cross. You had the perfect life for a girl then, yet you lay in your bed enthralled captivated by what lay up that hill, the slope you could barely see from your second floor bedroom window. You were terrified, yet you knew you wanted to, needed to know, and were always willing to pay the price, even though you never really knew what the price was. Those days when you first came into memory and mind, you would lie on your pink ballerina bedspreaded bed, and you, not even a ballerina by then, your even Dutch girl bangs shorn short, you, the prince to your red rose-budded tutued sister. She always got to be the girl. You wore capes, flat shoes, baby blue tights, were the steady hand, the strong arms. You made her look so beautiful. There were moments you wanted to be the one with breasts and nails, soft plum eye shadow, the one who could walk into a room on high heels, command every suitor's eye, yet you chose to move as if invisible, studied movement and sound the way boys play, learned how to not take things personally. You courted danger, were brave, bicycled home solo at midnight, took shortcuts through lightless paths, sang yourself home with amazing grace, Joni Mitchell's Blue. I am on a lonely road and I am traveling, looking for something, what can it be? You grew a second skin, padded out in a layer of fat, protection, so that when you went on the road, you could enter a room almost invisible, armored too. You can't believe it though, when you find yourself in Egypt, in a small village across from Luxor, a taxi ride to a town this side of the Valley of the Kings. Within no time, you see yourself stretched out solo on a daybed, stone. Villagers cram inside, form an endless line, weave through the house serpentine. Children and coal-eyed grandmothers clamor at the metal barred doors. While you, some miracle mart Cleopatra, Galabea clad, recline like a round-bellied Botticelli diva in some Renaissance oil painting, eat an omelet afloat in butter. The entire village shuffles by, single file, a solemn procession. Some touch your waist length hair, stroke your flushed cheeks, stare into your lake blue eyes. To them, evil, forbidden, like your left-handedness, sinistre. You want to be Amerigo Vespucci, Christopher Columbus, John Cabot, yet here you are laid out on a sticky August evening, object, not subject. Akhti, your friend calls. Hassan speaks to you as sister. After the parade of people has long ended, after the evening turns obsidian, you insist Hassan take you back to your lodgings in town. It is well past midnight. You could have slept in a breezy, open-windowed room, but you persist in leaving your one thought, departure, home. And so you stumble along the hard, oily road where pebbles skitter under sandaled feet like marbles, making footing uncertain. Your left hand tightly grips, your right hand tightly grips his left. It is pitch black, moonless, the ground uneven, and you cling to this hand, pull yourself along in silence at first, you determined to get back to your sweltering room. Then a strange music starts, the sound liquid, like water slapping the hull of a moored felucca. It is 3 miles to the main road, 1 mile more to the river, the Nile. You wonder if there will even be a ferry for the crossing. You move side by side, your right hand safe in his left, the sounds footsteps and water, Hassan's right hand stroking his penis as he pulls himself along while you ignore him. This was the price for explorer girls, naked men, and a way of acting dumb to defeat them. Pretend you don't know what's going on. Still, you don't feel unsafe as you place one foot in front of the other along a time-worn road under summer stars, a sister, untouched, unmoved, and in another world. Out of step you walk, out of time, and you sing softly under your breath in almost a whisper. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. So that was the Holy Land. Which was pretty amazing, actually, being in Egypt. I mean, I've never met more hospitable people in my life. We went to places where time stood still, like to St. Anthony's Monastery. My girlfriend and I hitchhiked in, and it was biblical. I mean, it was right out of the Bible. So I'm just going to leave you. There's this little piece I wrote when my friend neighbor just had a little baby, and I wrote this for Randy, the guy in the Raving Poets. I wrote this for his daughter when she was born, and I thought, what can we count on in life? And before I leave, I just want to thank everybody for coming. You guys have been amazing. The Parkland has attracted people from all over the world. I've heard poets from Nepal and all over. And I just want to thank all the organizers and take you out with this little piece called Wandering Stars. And one version of this ended up on a CD, sung and produced with music, but this is just a very little light poem. There is I dedicated to Katie, who's now about 24. There is a sky of wandering stars, of rosebud planets pressing fire into soot. Light ascends, time walks afresh, turns sharp at dusk, at dawn will blush. The wandering stars have traveled far, have crossed the paths, have crossed the seas, have left a path. It is the night to find your way. You call for the stars, they are your day. You spear a star with your wooden mast, you heave and hoe, the star holds fast. The wandering stars take you by their hand through an open sea to a foreign land. The wandering stars have seen the sights, climbed the Eiffel Tower, crowned the Giza Sphinx. Light forms the links between night and day. Stars never sleep, they just hide away. All the while, they see where the schooner sails, where the songbird rests, where swim pods of whales, where the landfall pines smell so sweet and sure, where warm waves crash in on the harbor shore. Set your sails on stars. Sing your way at night, wander with the sky. A magic carpet flies over bow and stern, unfurls black, and fire burns a map, its eye. Let the wandering stars take you by their hand through this open sea to the promised land. Thank you.